Alright, what's up all my beanie weenies and welcome back to my channel. I am of course Hot Dogs and we are here for day 10 on our Sims 4 Survivor Oasis series. And we're going to be starting it off in the Red Nookstone tribe. So when we last left off on Monday's episode, we saw that the Red Nookstone tribe actually won their luxury competition, and now they have power. So that will be handy in the winter months when it starts to get kind of cold outside, and especially at night. They'll be able to kind of see everything for once, and they won't get that little moodlet. But right now it's still daylight, so they're all kind of hanging out outside in their usual spot around the fire. We see that Tina's actually sitting there, kind of like queen on her throne in front of her little alliance, and she's actually playing with the hidden immunity idol. So originally Bella had found this idol, and then it got passed to Richard, and now it seems that somehow Tina has gotten it in her hands, until she inevitably stops the playing animation and then just puts it down on the ground beside the bench. And then as soon as she did that, actually Rich comes over. So it's almost like he like walked in on her having the idol and she just like put it down on the ground. And he's kind of like awkwardly sitting there. He doesn't immediately pick it up, but he does eventually pick it back up and put it into his pocket. So it seems as though maybe she found out he had it, took it from him, and then maybe got caught and he put it back in his pocket. Bella was right there though, so it's interesting. I don't really know. Again, when it comes to this version of the hidden immunity idol, anyone can get possession of it, and since it is a lump of clay, they do end up, as you see, playing with it and putting it down. It only matters who has it during tribal council, and we're going to find out at the end of the episode, of course, who's going to tribal council, so that's really exciting. Alright, so now that they have real power and plumbing, we see that Brant has started cleaning. I noticed that Nina was cleaning earlier as well. So everyone's kind of finally tidying up their camp, as it has been extremely dirty. There's like dirty, smelly dishes throughout the entire camp, so they can finally, for once, properly clean. And I noticed a little bit earlier too, when I was talking, that there was a lot of conversations going on between Nina and Nervous. They seem to be developing maybe some kind of relationship. We don't really know, but we won't be able to find out unless this tribe goes to tribal council and we're able to look at everything. So I'm not too sure. Everyone seems to be kind of gathering together, apart from Bella, who's playing basketball. Everyone's kind of getting together for lunch and eating and talking.
Nerkska, Sherrard,
Yabo.
Libonkusha,
Lovo, Galathoy.
Ferdoy,
Sensibi Kiniku.
Seems that the mood is pretty mixed. I feel like most of them are happy, but we see that like Nervous is pretty sad, and then Rich is actually really bummed out. He ends up leaving the group entirely and just going inside by himself in the air conditioning and reading a book. We see that Bella has eventually came over for lunch. They're all eating, and I don't know, I was thinking that it's actually kind of interesting that there isn't really many fights on this tribe. You see on the green tribe, which we'll check in after this obviously, there's a lot of fights over there, and usually there's fights right before they lose tribal council, and then that person leaves and stuff like that. There isn't too many fights going on here, and the person that was voted out, Cochran, he didn't really talk to anyone, and that was the main reason. So I feel like this tribe is almost like the tribe of love, since there's been like woohoo and stuff like that, and the other tribe's like the tribe of hate. It's really interesting and weird. Ew, since when have I had dimples? We see that Jenna has made her way over to the chess table after she was finished eating and is just playing a game by herself, strategizing. I always like to imagine that when the castaways are playing chess, that they're like, especially alone, is that they're like strategizing what moves they need to make in the game, who they need to befriend, who they need to go after, all that kind of stuff, because that's what people do on Real Survivor with like rocks and stuff, and I think that's what I would do. I'm a visual learner, so I think having like a pawn and a king and doing that whole thing and representing each castaway would really help me mentally. We see that Rich has made his way come over. What? Has made his way over to Jenna. But unfortunately, he gets attacked by spiders and is bitten. And I'm really surprised that like all the Sims have pretty much been attacked by bats, mosquitoes, spiders, and none of them have like died from it or really gotten sick. Like, sure, they get bad moodlets from it, but I'm surprised no one's died from any of these bites. Still, Rich is pretty upset. I would be pretty upset too. So he goes over to the group and he just kind of complains to them. He vents to them. He was like, I was already feeling upset. I was already feeling down. I tried to read. It kind of made me feel better. I went to talk to Jenna. That kind of worked. And then as soon as I was feeling a little better, I get bit by a spider. Like, today is just not his day. And then we also see that Tina starts playing with the idol again. So, like, I don't know how I'm missing it, how she just has one. I even go through all their inventories and like all of them, there's only one still in the tribe. So like how it keeps falling out of Rich's pocket. Maybe he has a hole in his pocket, but she ends up getting a hold of it. So it's just like adding on to Rich's bad day. And of course, Tina has to come over and play with it right in front of him. But we see that Jenna is still kind of coming over and comforting Rich. So I feel like there's a nice relationship building. And I've kind of also noticed that Jenna has been kind of distancing herself a little bit from Tina. They were like this at the beginning of this season. But I feel like there's a lot of people like Nina and Brant and Bella that are kind of competing to be in there with Tina. So I feel like she is kind of the leader of this camp. So the fact that she just keeps finding the idol just proves it even more. But we are going to wrap it up here on the Red Nookstone tribe and head over to the Green Sandtrap tribe. Now, it's weird, like the red team seems to be kind of having a little bit of a shit day, but they won the luxury competition. So we'll see if the green tribe is still having a shit day because they lost, or if like the bad mojo has gone to this camp too. Who knows? I never really know what to expect with the green team because there's like usually a fight. There's usually something going on. So far, it looks like everyone is just kind of doing their own individual chores and hobbies. We have Natalie playing chess. It looks as though Eliza is cleaning. Aliana is probably going to head to the gym. Vesepia ends up coming back from the workbench. So all of them are kind of just doing their own little thing. Eventually, they all do start to gather together. We see that Johnny does make his way over to Natalie at the chess table and sit down with her and starts talking. They've recently made up and gotten closer, even though I did say I think it's kind of fake. We'll have to see, if anything, if it does improve now that Brian's gone, even though I personally think that Fabio will get in the way. Eliza ends up coming over and watching them. I know all of you hate Eliza so much. You're like, I want her to suffer. But it's like not really happening. Like I feel like it was rocky at first. But so far this tribe has kind of adapted to Eliza, it seems. But who really knows? We'll have to find out. She might be, facing danger if they lose the immunity challenge today. I don't really know, but you guys are always rooting for her downfall, and I think it's kind of hilarious that she's like, no, she's doing fairly well. So we have those three playing chess. The other three are in the gym working out. Eventually, Eliza does end up coming over and joining them, and I honestly think this foursome of Aliana, Fabio, Vesepia, and Eliza are kind of like the core four of this Green Sandtrap tribe. I mean, you got 2 townies, 2 winners, and they kind of all offer different things, and then you're left with Natalie and Johnny on the outside, which I kind of think, Natalie has her ends. She's close with Vesepia, she's close with Fabio and stuff, but she does also have the enemy in Aliana. They have this rooted rivalry that stemmed from nowhere. They haven't fought, they haven't argued, they just don't talk, they don't like each other. And Johnny, I feel like, has gotten in arguments. He hasn't really made too many friends. So the 2 of them are definitely in danger. And I think this little core is going to hold a lot of power.
Smurgs, Unga. Bamkaro Sumbisi. Klims.
We do see that eventually Natalie does come. Like I said, she kind of has her ends with Vesepia and Fabio. So she does come to talk to them, and I thought it was hilarious that as soon as she walked in, Aliana walked straight out. And I wish she stayed that way, but she just went out to get a hot dog, ironically. I love that they eat so many hot dogs. But yeah, she ends up coming back in, and they all end up talking. It goes fairly well, but I don't know. I don't see that feud just ending.
Ansa.
Lobi.
Rinka Shalbo.
Roby.
Oh, Bonnie. Jessene. Free but nice.
So, like I said, the conversation doesn't really go very far. We see that Natalie says she's hungry and kind of gets a reason to leave. But when she does go out there, she doesn't even grab the hot dog that's on the ground. Like, she must not be that hungry because she doesn't actually grab the food. She just ends up seeing Johnny. He's still playing chess with Eliza. And she just goes over there and starts flirting with him and hugging him and stuff like that. And I don't know, like, it does seem... I don't know. I have bad vibes about the two of them. I was shipping them so hard, and now that it's actually happening, I'm like, did I actually want this? And we see that Fabio actually left and got food, and he's just kind of watching creepily from afar as they flirt, which just makes me feel tense. Like, I feel like this is a very similar situation to the Johnny, Brian, Natalie love triangle that was going on, and I feel like doom is upon the three of them now. Like, this love triangle is not going to work out for at least one of them. But who actually knows? I don't even know. I have not filmed the final week yet. So in my game, I am down to the final 6, and that's all I know. And honestly, I'm not editing it with like a winner's edit. There is no winner's edit. You can't go through the videos and figure out who I'm rooting for. So I genuinely just film what exactly happened. So I don't really know. I don't want you to think I'm spoiling you guys. It's weird. I think it's just because there's only 6 people on the tribe. But when they're flirting and just Fabio and Eliza are like watching them, I felt like the whole camp was watching them flirt. It was very weird. And the flirting was going pretty well, actually. Last time it was a little awkward. This time it seems to be going pretty good. They end up just sitting down and talking, but it doesn't seem to have done well to Eliza's stomach. I don't know if it was the hot dogs that were on the ground or watching them try to flirt with one another, but she does end up puking in the bush. And this clip right here is exactly why I do not like this Natalie sim, because they just got done flirting. It was actually going well for once. They're still sitting beside each other talking. Fabio ends up coming outside from the gym, sits right beside Natalie. What happens? Fabio and Natalie start flirting right in front of Johnny. Like, I'm like, at least deny his flirts and then flirt in front of him. But don't go along with it and then still flirt in front of him. Like, she does this with all the guys, and I feel like it affects the guys more than it affects her. So, I don't know. I was instantly frustrated with her. We also see Aliana run by to puke in the bush, which I think kind of confirms that the hot dogs that were on the ground were no good. Food poisoning is now spreading throughout the Green tribe.
Woo! Arbin Wexa!
We have Eliza practicing her fire dancing, which I love. I always prefer the fire dance over them just dancing to the fire, which doesn't make sense to me. I don't get why you dance to a fire when there's no music. But this juggling fire, that makes sense to my brain. So, love it. Love to see her doing it. But I love that the whole tribe is united outside around this fire. They're all sick together. And we still see that there's no real fighting going on between Fabio, Natalie, and Johnny. I mean, there is tension there, but they're all still having a conversation together. They're all talking to one another. And obviously Johnny's trying to make up with Natalie. He's always trying to get on her good side. He's always the one, sucking up to her, I feel like. So he does, keep trying to make amends. Keep trying to work past it. He gives her this gift that ends up being pretty awkward. I don't really know what it was. I think it was a pipe or something stupid, and she doesn't really like it, and it's just really awkward. And I feel like, I don't know, it's just the same Brian and Johnny situation, but now with Fabio, and Fabio's super hot god in my Sims game, so I feel bad for Johnny. I always feel bad for Johnny. And I'm just not feeling Natalie at the moment, personally. No offense to any Natalie lovers out there. And I'm actually not a fan of her in real life, like the real winner, Natalie. I thought Russell should have won that season. I'm actually a Hans fan. I love Russell Hans. I love Brandon Hans. I even love a little bit of Willie Hans on Big Brother. Like, they're just such good TV. Like, juicy. Russell Hans owned that season. And the fact that she won, like, just because everyone was bitter. And I don't know. Her sim self in my game is not proving her much better. So. But Natalie's eating those hot dogs that are on the ground. So I'm excited that she's going to puke in a few minutes. Because we actually see that Johnny leaves the conversation, goes to the bedroom, and cries in bed by himself. It's sad. It's pathetic. And Aliana and Fabio are in the bathroom watching because of the holes in the wall. They're able to just sit there and stare at him, sobbing in bed. Before he can come out of the bed, they do end up kind of scurrying away. Fabio starts bartending, acting like he was there the whole time and not listening to him wail by himself in bed. I mean, it looks like it made Johnny feel a little bit better, but I don't know. But everyone else is kind of slowing down their night. Aliana's showering. Eliza's in bed in the tent. Everyone's kind of slowly going to bed. So we are going to wrap up day 10. And we're going to fast forward a little bit, move on to day 11. And we're actually just going to go ahead and get right into the immunity challenge. So like you all know, this is the important challenge of the week. It's the one that tells us who's going to be going to tribal council on Friday. The Green Tribe were the ones to lose it last week, making them lose a member. So they are now down to 6 versus 7. And this competition is going to get pretty tiring for them, as it is a new endurance competition. Now, because the red team is 1 member bigger than the green team, they do have to sit out a player. So randomly chosen, Bella sat out in the last competition, so she could not sit out in this one, and instead Jenna was randomly chosen to sit out, so she will not be competing. This competition is called Run for Your Life, and it's pretty easy. They're all going to get on the treadmill at the same time and run. And it works just like the sauna competition we did and stuff like that, where whichever tribe has someone on the treadmill the longest, they win. Once they are off, however, they are off. So everyone's on right now. Seems to be going pretty good. They both tribes have treadmills in their camp, so there are a few of them that run a lot. So we have like Brant, who runs on the treadmill a ton. I think that's like the one person on the red team I see on the treadmill all the time. And then on the green team, we have Aliana and Fabio. The two of them are always working out and on the treadmill, so I'm definitely keeping my eye on them. I feel like they're going to be like the all-stars. So far, so good. Everyone is still on the treadmill. Everyone's still running. There has been a few drops, but I'm not counting those. I'm not making them fall because they fell on their own. It's only if they stop running altogether. So far, no one's done that. It's been pretty good, pretty impressive. I also weirdly like the sound of like all their feet running on the treadmill. It's like nice tapping ASMR. But it is about to get pretty serious, as everyone is going to start dropping like flies. So we actually see that on the green team is where we have our first people dropping. We have Johnny, Natalie, and Vesepia dropping first, and then the red team, almost the whole team starts to quit all at once, leaving only Brant, who I said would probably be the all-star of their team. He's the only one I ever see running, but literally like Nervous, Bella, Ridge, Tina, Nina, all of them drop off at once. So now we just have 4 castaways competing. We have 3 on the green team. That's Fabio, Eliza, and Aliana, of course, the people that have all been working out the most. And then on the red team, we just have Brant. So it's not looking too good for the red team. They really need to put all their faith in Brant, and Brant needs to pull it out for them in order for them to win. But he's going to have to beat the stamina of 3 other people. But as you can see, even the fittest, like Aliana, is getting pretty tired at this point. And Fabio is the first of the 3 on the green team left to drop, but it doesn't take too long for Eliza and Aliana to drop right before, milliseconds before, Brant dropped, which is pretty unbelievable. The red team is amazing at doing this, but the red team has won immunity by one person winning it for them. I mean, Rich has done it, Nina has done it, and now Brant has done it, where they win for the entire tribe. So I think that's crazy impressive. Those 3 castaways are killing it. And I can't believe Brant really did. I mean, he's always running, so I'm not too surprised. But it is going to mean that our tribes are getting even more uneven. Because that does mean that the green Nookstone, the green Sandtrap tribe is going to have to go to tribal council on Friday and vote another member off of the tribe, off the island. So that's going to make the numbers 7-5. And I do have to say that this is the last normal week of Survivor Oasis we're going to be having. After this, we are going to have 6 more weeks left until the end of the series, and every single week is going to have a new twist. So be prepared for that. It's going to get crazy. Until then, I'm going to wrap up this episode here, and I'll see you guys on Friday. I'm sorry this episode's getting posted a little bit later. I don't know if you guys care about specific times it gets posted. Wednesday episodes are hard for me because I work throughout the week, and for Monday and Friday I get that done on the weekend or on days I'm off, but I'm not off when I make Wednesday videos, so they end up being late and stuff like that. If you want to know up to date when I'm uploading, when the video is posted, of course you can always subscribe and hit the bell, but you can also follow me on Twitter, and I update everyone on there as well. I also have a TikTok. Follow me on everything. Comment down below. I love talking to my beanie weenies, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.